What's going on, everybody? I'm Matt Harmon. Welcome to the Yahoo Fantasy Forecast, and it is a hell of a day to talk ball. We have the Week 10 preview show. We've got Justin Boone. We've got the six-pack of questions, everything you know and love about our weekly preview shows. We have an excellent program coming up for you today, but before we get into that, I said it's a hell of a day to talk ball. I'm not sure that I mean that, because what we just watched on Thursday Night Football, and yes, we do have to get through the Thursday Night Football solo recap here to start the show. I think that was an affront to the sport. I don't want to be reactionary, overzealous, anything like that here, but I think that might have been the worst football game I've ever watched, or at least the worst island game I've ever watched. I think so. I know Colts Broncos from a few years ago, the Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson Bowl, I think it was 2022. I know that one got thrown out a lot. This felt worse. This had everything bad that could happen in a football game happened in this game. I'm going to talk about this game for a little bit, and then we're just going to get to the rest of the show here. I do not have a bunch of actionable takeaways in this game. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. That was outrageous what we just watched here. But let's try to get through it as we always do here. Broncos. We'll start with them. Yeah, the blurry ass shot of the moon. That was the most entertaining shot of the entire broadcast, which was preceded by Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit going on some memory lane of an old broadcast. I don't even know what was happening. Like, that sequence there, that might have been the most interesting thing that happened in the football game on the broadcast, because the game was such a mess. Okay, let's talk about the Broncos here. Wow. Okay, let's be nice to start. Their defense is awesome. The Broncos defense is incredible. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, the offense, my goodness, that was bad. If you have not watched the Broncos this year, what you saw tonight, I would love to sit here and tell you that was an outlier. That is not what it's felt like. It's felt like that for a disturbing amount of time this season. Obviously, a few weeks ago when they played the Cowboys, that was a great result for the Broncos. That was a complete false flag. They've had some moments in the fourth quarter. Obviously, everybody remembers the Giants game where they battled all the way back, 33 points in the fourth quarter, unprecedented stuff there. But by and large, what they've done in normal scripts has just been atrocious. And I don't like to say stuff like that on the show, but that is what it's been. And it is a combination of factors here. But something I have said with Nate on 301 over the course of the year is the Broncos can tell us, and Sean Payton in particular can tell us, that he loves Bo Nix and he thinks he's this, that, and the other. Well, actions speak louder than words, because the way they call this offense, the way they design it, the way it's structured, it reeks of a unit that does not trust the quarterback. There's so many screens, these little swing passes out of the backfield, one read and go, booting out here and cutting the field in half. And we're showing the play I screenshotted. Thank you I normally would say thank you to Prime Vision because it's a great broadcast. Sam Schwartzstein is incredible. They run the whole thing there. Shout out to Next Gen Stats. On a game like this, I'm actually kind of annoyed. Seeing it on the all-22 angle makes it even worse. Bo Nix's first interception of the night was one of those plays where you boot out to the pocket, you cut the field in half, and he just launches up a prayer that no God in the known universe is answering. It was just, it was offensive. It was an offensive showing here. And like I said, this is not an outlier. I saw Josh Norris tweeted this. The Broncos have scored one touchdown on their last 17 drives. One. That's it. That is not good for a second-year quarterback with some interesting players around him and an offensive head coach who I think did a lot of really good stuff last season. Really bad, really bad. And I'm not sitting here like completely sounding the Bo Nix alarm, but I'm just telling you the facts of the situation here, which is the way this offense is designed and called, it looks like a unit that doesn't trust the quarterback. So that is either a Sean Payton problem or a Bo Nix problem. Where do you want to fall on the spectrum there? I think that's up to you, and I guess it's up to you kind of to determine what you see on tape there. I just think Nix has not progressed at all from year one to year two. Whether he's regressed or not, that's a separate conversation. He has not progressed, that is for sure. And meanwhile, I actually think that there have been some positive signs from the skill position players. You know, I think Pat Bryant has given them an answer against zone coverage. I think Troy Franklin has given them an answer. Like, consistency is not here at all with any of these guys. Troy Franklin especially. He still very much has his up and down moments, but he's given them kind of an answer against man coverage. And again, Pat Bryant, when he's on the field, has given them a little bit of an answer against zone coverage, but the quarterback is not finding those answers at a nearly an often enough pace right now. And I think the big panic player from a Denver side of things coming out of this, by the way, the leading receiver in this game, not on his team, in this game, is a man who is essentially a part-time NFL wide receiver, part-time real estate agent, wasn't on the football team to start the season, wasn't on the football team like 3 weeks ago. That is Tyler Lockett, Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver. So, yeah, 44 yards for him. That's the state of the passing game here. One of the many just little factoids about this game that tells you how this went. So, again, on Denver side, the big panic player will definitely be Courtland Sutton. 3 catches for 24 yards on 4 targets. And here's the thing. I completely balk at the idea that Courtland Sutton is this and I've been saying this. I've been saying it to Boone on the show. I've been completely balk at the idea that Courtland Sutton is a player who's like a consistent, steady Eddie. I think from a player standpoint, he's not that guy. I think from a scoring standpoint, he's definitely not that guy. He has 3 one-catch games on the year, and he catches 3 tonight for 24 yards, 4 targets. Troy Franklin, 9 targets. And I think, you know, whether Troy Franklin is the 1 or Courtland Sutton is the 2, that doesn't even matter to me, honestly. Like, whatever. Courtland Sutton, though, he is, if he's your number 1 receiver, he's a good, not great number 1 receiver at best. And because he only lines up at X and all these other guys, Franklin, Bryant, they're kind of, you know, Bryant's a big slot. Franklin's a small slot. Mims is a fake receiver when he's out there. Evan Ingram is this kind of move flex guy, whatever. So that leaves Sutton to just line up at X on probably 85 to 90% of the plays. That is going to lead into so much volatility when you now have all of these other target-earning players, target-worthy players, guys that should actually be involved to some degree here, which was not the case last year at all. And you've got a quarterback playing like this. We're cutting half the field. Guess what? That X receiver might get cut half the time. You know, Sutton is, I think, a coping corner candidate. Honestly, if people send him in for the panic meter in a few days, I know I'm going to try to forget this game. You guys are going to try to forget this game. We're all going to try to forget this game. But if somebody out there listening to me, how could anybody possibly be listening to a recap of this game? If somebody out there is listening to me and you want to submit to the people's panic meter, go ahead and send in Courtland Sutton. He's a worthy conversation. And I think he might be a coping corner candidate, not to fully sound the alarm here. So, oh my God, Zach Stevens saying that Bo Nix was Amazon Prime's player of the game, presented by JCPenney. JCPenney, you got to shut down the doors. Got to close down the stores. This is a affront to your brand. Player of the game? Nick Benito? He doesn't exist? What do we do? What do we do? Give it to the. I mean, we can't give it. Well, I can't even give it to the Broncos punter. My God. All right. So that's the Broncos. Whatever. Again, there's no like actionable takeaways from fantasy in this game. You're just going to try to flush it and move on from a positive standpoint. Like, we didn't learn anything new about the backfield rotation. We didn't learn anything new about RJ Harvey. Troy Franklin continues to outproduce Courtland Sutton, which I think says more about Courtland Sutton than it says about Troy Franklin. Although Troy Franklin is kind of, you know, ascending a little bit here in year 2. He's making his rise. But again, just concerns about this Broncos team, which is 8-2, by the way. I have this tone about them, and they're 8-2. They have a path to the number 1 seed in the NFC. Insane. AFC, excuse me. Insane. All right, Raiders. My God. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm more disappointed in the Broncos because theoretically I expect more, but I am pretty disappointed in the Raiders offense in multiple ways. And this is an offense that I have been very skeptical of since the offseason, really. Since before, when we did the bus show, I threw out like, how good are the Raiders even going to be? The more and more we've talked about it, the less I've been enthused. The more we've seen it this year, the more skeptical I've been. And then we got last week's result with a healthy Brock Bowers, and it's just, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm going to try to be nice and be open-minded to the fact that, hey, maybe they had a little bit more in the bag. They just need a healthy Brock Bowers, a transformative player. They need him out there, and then it's all going to be okay. Well, folks, it's not. It's not going to be okay. It's not going to be okay just because Brock Bowers is back. Brock Bowers caught 1 pass tonight. Raiders attempted 27 passes on the evening. One of them was by Kenny Pickett, by the way, because, of course, we got a Kenny Pickett appearance in this game. Why not? Threw the ball to Jack Besh, tightly covered. Yeah, Jack Besh, remember him? Threw the tightly covered pass to Jack Besh, didn't catch it. We're moving on. That was Kenny Pickett's one throw because Geno Smith was banged up in this game because Geno Smith kept getting clobbered behind an offensive line that is an abysmal unit and had injuries. But both of these teams had injuries on the offensive line, which I guess if I'm being fair here, I probably should point that out. Both guards for the Raiders got banged up in this game or were banged up in this one. So that obviously did not help things. But DJ Glaze, who's a starter for this team, was getting smoked all night long. All night long, DJ Glaze is getting smoked. And this is a guy that, as I pointed out, this is sort of the what that something's rotten here in Vegas is that guy was at least acceptable, passable as a rookie. I'm not gonna say he was good, but he was passable, and he's completely regressed in year 2. That is such a bad sign. Jackson Powers Johnson, who got banged up in this game and left pretty early on, he's a guy they don't quite know what to do with, and he had a couple standout moments early on in this game. Opening holes for Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty, like I said, coping corner, bro. Come on, we got to get Boone to let him put him in the coping corner, please, please, please. It's just these players that were decent for this operation last year have completely regressed. That's not good. And the passing game, I mean, my God, it's just I don't know what the plan is here. The 3rd and 6 late in the game where you're in field goal range and Geno Smith is banged up, that was the one to me that really was the straw that broke the camel's back. They have no hot route there. They have no dump off option against the blitz. How did you not see that coming? Chip Kelly is the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. Highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. Chip Kelly. What is Chip Kelly doing? What are we doing here? And again, the receiver usage is absolutely mind-boggling. Dante Thornton, I really hate to do this. And I hate to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean because I don't even think this is his fault. Dante Thornton was a really interesting day 3 option in the NFL draft this year. You guys know the size, the speed, all that stuff. And he had some flashes on tape, especially against man coverage, working kind of straight line routes. But he was a pure developmental project. And I have no idea why they have essentially been forcing this since May. Oh, yeah. And this is on record. I said this on the show. This is one of those things where it's in the offseason. It's like, yeah, we got this 4th round pick. We're starting at X receiver. Yeah. And then we get to the game. It's like, oh my God, we're starting a 4th round pick at X receiver. And multiple mistakes by him tonight. Multiple mistakes. Drops. Penalties. Bringing back a Trey Tucker touchdown. So he can't get open. I mean, it's just, it's wild. And he was a healthy scratch last week. And then you traded away your slot receiver in Jacoby Myers. And now to start this game, he's an every down player for this team when he doesn't even play in the slot. He's the X. He's the perimeter speed guy. What is going on? I mean, Jack Besh barely plays in this game. And I mean, I must be insane or an idiot. Totally fair. Both are possible. I think Besh has looked good on his routes when he's running them, but he's almost always outside on the line of scrimmage. Like that's not what we should be doing with him. Just literally pluck him in the role that Jacoby Myers was in. Again, maybe Jack Besh is terrible and I missed on that evaluation. Totally possible. And, if I did, hand up, fine. But when I've watched him this year, I just don't think that's true. And I refuse to well, he obviously isn't good. This team isn't playing him. Yeah, I'm not gonna appeal to the authority of this group going on in Vegas right now. I've never been more sure, Urban Meyer aside, I saw the coach get a lap dance on video in the middle of the season. But outside of that division, I've never been more sure that a regime should be one and done. Like, I'm sorry, but this team is not, this coaching staff doesn't have it. It's not forward thinking. They're stuck in the past. Chip Kelly's not bringing anything to the table. Pete Carroll's not bringing anything to the table. They tried to kind of take their contention window, which wasn't real, and they just basically tried to microwave it. They stuck it in the microwave, jam that thing full of radiation, and we're going to try to heat wave it, microwave it, short term it, and it's been a complete miss, and it's a wreck for everybody here. These young guys who should be stars, Brock Bowers, terrible. I mean, one target in this game is outrageous. What are we doing? Ashton Genty, can't even get him going. I'm not saying Genty's been good in isolation. I think he's been fine. I think he's been solid. I think he's definitely had his moments. This is hard to tell in this situation. It's hard. It's really hard to tell. And we're wasting these young, talented players that, you probably shouldn't even take a running back 6th overall. What are we doing here? The only good theory I have coming out of this game, and shout out to our graphics, our senior design wizard here, Jason Jung on the show, who is unfortunately for him a Raiders fan. I mentioned I don't know if you guys saw this story because this broke during the NFL trade deadline. So shout out to Tom Brady for news dumping during the trade deadline that apparently he cloned his dog. His current dog is a clone of his former dog, which it's out there. I've said it. Now you guys can have your judgment. Yeah, Tom Brady revealed. He revealed this. He offered this information up. Revealed that his current dog, Junie, is a clone of his late dog, Lua, who died in December 2023. Colossal Biosciences is one that did this. Jurassic Park has been coming up a lot on the show. Lewis Dodgson, is he on this? Is he on this one? Is he the guy doing this? Anyways, Tom Brady cloned his dog. We found that out for some reason during the trade deadline, which, Tom, whatever, he did his thing. The next step in this, Jung's theory, because I pointed this out to, mention this during the game, as we were talking about it in our little group chat, he said, Tom Brady, the next step is he clones himself, and the Raiders have a franchise quarterback in, I don't know, 2040, 2050? I don't know, whenever Tom's going to get around to this cloning thing. So that's about the best hope I can give Raiders fans, and I think that's a good way to end what was a way too long of a recap for an abominable football game. If you guys listened to this all the way through or watched it on YouTube, I really actually thank you because this was therapeutic to get this all off my chest. Not a lot of actionable information here, which is going to be funny with how the show opens here with Boone in just a second. It's actually really fitting. Thank you for listening to this because, again, it was therapeutic for me to get this off my chest. If you enjoyed it, maybe let us know at the comment in the YouTube comment section. You can tweet at me, whatever. That'd be great. I'd love to hear it if you enjoyed this because that means you're a sick pup just like me, and I thank you for being one of those few people.